Shalom. Call Haloyim Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rachak Wadash Shan Yukabad Gadawala Requab Zequanim Nawa Wa Shalayakim Nawa. And that's double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom. Wa Barakim Labakanyim Shaliyasharala. And that's peace and blessings to the elect of Israel. I wanted to very quickly go into the difference between the nation of Israel and really any other nation. And I want to specifically harp on the physical features. And I'm going to do that by bringing out this scripture right here in Exodus, and then we're just going to touch on a parable, and that's it. And Lord's will is edifying. Now, when it comes to skin tone, not every so-called black person that you see, not every person with melanin is an Israelite. We've always said, starting with our apostle Apostle Tahar, we've always said here at GMS that you're going to have Israelites that look like the other nations. At the same time, you're going to have so-called black people, so-called melanated people that may look like an Israelite, but they're actually another nation. The reason being for this is because of the various different captivities that we've been through, and then even just mixing and mingling with the heathen nations. And of course, if we're speeding things up to this time, we're all well aware of the transatlantic slave trade, in which that lasted 400 maybe to around 400, between 400 and 500 years. And we're going to touch a bit on that in the New Testament. But starting off here in Exodus 11, verse 7, it says, but against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. And of course, this is when Moses would go into Pharaoh and declaring the plagues that would happen upon the land of ancient Egypt. The Most High continued to harden Pharaoh's heart in order to bring about a bigger purpose. And the difference here was that the Lord was showing his power and he was delivering his people. But also you can take this to another level and say that even the ancient Egyptians, you can say that we looked very similar, because we did, both melanated people. And this is exactly why in the New Testament, Mary and Joseph, when they had Yahweh Shai, the Messiah, they went and they fled into Egypt, right? Because they were hiding the Messiah. This is also why Moses got away with being an Egyptian. We looked very similar. And so I wanted to talk about that and briefly bring out this in the book of Matthew, the 23rd chapter. Is it Matthew? Let me just type in tears. Matthew, the 13th chapter. Not every person that you see that has melanated skin, it doesn't matter how dark they are, not every so-called black person that you see is an Israelite. And the Lord has put the Spirit upon us because we're prophets, we're in these scriptures heavily. He's dealing with us on a different level, you can just say. And we're able to discern by the Spirit, for the most part, I'll say, if someone is, an Israelite or not. However, we're still in the flesh at the end of the day. And that's why in this chapter, we're going to read how the angels are going to have to come back and ultimately make that distinction. So Matthew 13, verse 25 says, but while men slept, I'm just going to start right here to get right to the point. Verse 24 is cool. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, and I'll just break it down as we go along. The field represents the world, right? The good seed are the children of Israel. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. So I'll just break everything down right now so that as we read the parable, you can just understand what it's talking about as we get through it. So the field represents the world. The good seed are the children of Israel. The enemy is Esau, Edom, the wicked. And tares here represent people that look like Israelites, so-called black people, if you will, but they're actually children of the wicked. They're actually Edomites here in this parable. And we can also liken it to any other nation, right? You could actually be looking at this guy may look like he's a super Jake, and he may have a little bit of Moabite features, and you're like, you know what? He has some Chinese features, but for the most part, this man is as dark as me. It could just be that his mother is an Israelite and his father is Chinese, which the Chinese are Moabites. That would make that son that we're talking about here a Moabite, so-called Chinese person, right? He'd be a Moabite. That'd be his biblical nationality. So that's just one example, but here specifically the tares are referring to children that look like Israelites, but they are actually sons of the wicked, Esau, Edom. So he broke everything down right here. So now hopefully you can understand what this is saying as we continue to read along. So verse 25 says, I'll read 24 one more time. Another parable, and I'll read it slow. Put he forth unto them, saying, The kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came, Esau, Edom, and sowed tares among the wheat. The wheat are the children of Israel, and went his way. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in the field? From whence then hath it tares? He said unto them, An enemy hath done this. The servants said unto him, Wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? But he said, Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. The harvest represents the end of the world, the end of this current society when World War III comes and Babylon the Great, in the scriptures, which is America, is completely destroyed. Let both grow up until the harvest, and in the time of harvest I will say to the reapers are the angels, gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn for protection, salvation, right, and hedge over them. So remember, during the time of the transatlantic slave trade, that lasted roughly 400 to between, like I mentioned, 500 years, a very, very long time. And you had Esau, Edom, he was sleeping with our women. And that's how you have Jake coming out looking so-called light-skinned, whatever. You got red bones, as they call, a really, really fair-skinned woman, right, who's actually a Jake. But for the most part, you have Esau sleeping with our woman, and then what will come out is an Edomite, because he is the son of that man, which is Esau, Edom, his nationality, an Edomite. And he will come out looking like he has Jake features because of the woman. And he could have came out looking very dark skinned, but his nationality is an Edomite, aka a tare right here. And that's what this that's what this parable is going into. And at the end of the day, we can discern, for the most part, like I mentioned, who is who, what is what, but we're still in the flesh, and the Most High is going to have to return and send the reapers, the angels, to really make that distinction. But you can just tell the difference between our people. Our people are funny. Like, we have humor. We have a personality. Esau doesn't have a personality like us. They're bland. Their jokes aren't funny. They're just stupid and corny. They can't dance. They have no rhythm. Right? Even amongst these other nations, even the other so-called black nations, right? Your Hamitic nations, even them, they smell. They can't dance like Jake. They don't have rhythm like us. They can't play like us. They can't do sports like us. Some of them can, maybe, because they are low-key athletic. But at the end of the day, there's still a huge difference. It's a big difference in the way that we speak, the way that we talk and carry ourselves. I mean, you just look up some of these. Look at this, man. Come on. Kutsko. Africans with piercings. Come on, bro. That's not Jake. It's not Jake. Oh my gosh, I gotta get off it. I can't look at stuff like that for too long. Come on, man. We're not doing crap like that. Let me go to images. We're just not doing it. It's not our people. These are actual Hamites. Oh, all right, I'm done. Can't do it. It's not me. Let me see. I know the breakdown is somewhere in here, just so you can get the breakdown. Verse 36, and we'll close out here, Lord's will. Then Yahushua sent the multitude away and went into the house, and his disciples came unto him, saying, Declare unto us the parable of the tares in the field. He answered and said unto them, He that sowed the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world. The Son of Man is Yahushua. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, Israelites, but the tares are the children of the wicked one, Esau, Edom. And they look like Jake, but they're Edomites. The enemy that sowed them is the devil, which is Esau, Edom. The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of this world. The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend, and them which do iniquity, and shall cast them into a furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. So there you have it. You want to be spiritual. At the end of the day, if you can't discern these things, it's really not a super big deal. We use the scriptures, we read the Spirit, and ultimately, like I said, like the scriptures say, the angels are going to come back and give that distinction. I wanted to bring out this topic, though, based upon that scripture in the book of Exodus, and I pray that this was edifying to the elect, called Halayim, which means all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.